It's your girl Jennifer here again, and you're watching Against All Odds. Welcome back to this platform. We hope you enjoyed my last video. I hope it gave you food for thought. You challenged you. Maybe it highlighted to you something that you don't know. Maybe it made you more aware when you're dating and relating. So, welcome back. And last time we talked about torturous relationships. I hope you liked, commented, shared, and subscribed. Please do us the honors. Yeah, so last time I talked about a torturous relationship, and I'm going to do another torturous relationship on this video. So sit back, relax, and let us interrupt. Drum roll. Da, 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 da. Anyway, jokes aside, and I have another life where I can be very cheeky and yeah. So anyway, on this platform we talk about relationships, but with the sole intention of addressing our mental health. Remember, I'm big on mental health, right? Yay! So clearly, relationships and mental health cannot be separated. People have mental health issues because of relationships. If relationships are not working, we are very sure our mental health will not be doing very well. So relationships and mental health are big on this platform. And my main focus, and when I bring up things and content on this platform, I just want to challenge us, inform us, educate us, make us aware, shed a light, and most likely also be able to address some of these issues because I'm a mental health professional. So stay tuned, and please remember to share and subscribe to this channel. Yes, so on this part 2 of a torturous relationship, on this part 2 of a torturous relationship, I'm going to talk about another torturous relationship. And now this relationship also is a true story, and it happened to my friend's auntie. Because of the sensitivity of some of the information, I will not be mentioning names, just because ideally it's just for you to understand what happened. So in this relationship, my friend's auntie, definitely this lady was a married woman. She got children, brought them up, but along the way, when the children were adults, she decided to divorce the father and the husband. So that auntie divorced the husband, and when they divorced, this auntie decided to get herself into another relationship. Definitely the children were of age, they weren't approving of the relationship, but it is her life, so she could do whatever she wanted. And this auntie was a well-to-do auntie. So when she got herself into a relationship, she got herself into a relationship with somebody who was not well-to-do as her. So one of the objections of the children to the relationship is because they thought the guy has come in to take advantage of their mother's wealth and businesses. But the lady didn't care, this auntie didn't care, so she was into the guy, and the guy apparently was into her. The guy was younger than her. The guy was not as wealthy as her. But relationships, how people you don't have to be in tune and in sync to date. Sometimes it's some, I can almost call it fate would have it. People just date for all the reasons, you know. So they had this relationship going on. And as I've told you, the children were they objected the relationship. Friends objected to the relationship. But definitely because she was well-to-do, she had her way. Now, some relationships have red flags from the beginning. So you can see this relationship from the beginning had red flags because the children were against it, her friends were against it. And so when people you love and that care for you, when they're against your relationship, sometimes what do you do if you want to continue the relationship? Most of the time what you do is you cut them off. So this lady, my friend's auntie, what she did, she decided to cut their family off to be with her guy. And this happened for years. So it's like anytime they wanted to access her or they needed help from her or to inform her things, it was really hard to get a hold of her because she would change numbers often, she would move houses often, you know. Somehow this guy made her start having a very weird and wanting lifestyle, I mean. So yeah, she involved the guy into some of her businesses. Like, this guy was more of her right-hand person. So they continued into this relationship for years. Now, the interesting thing is, because the family would get a wind of her, sometimes if they're having fights, they should come back to the relationship, to their family a little bit. Then when things get a bit okay, she would go back, you know. It was this in and out relationship with the family. So, but because that lady was outspoken, so sometimes when she has issues, she would voice them out to some of the very close family members that she had that relationship with. So one of the things that used to be a red flag that she noticed in the relationship is that sometimes the guy would go for weekends, and in those weekends he would be offline and definitely would always come up with an excuse that, oh, something happened to the phone. But this happened regularly in their relationship. And then this guy sometimes would have like impromptu travels and trips because they were always together. But sometimes he'll just have an impromptu travel and trip to somewhere. And then in that impromptu travel, he would either go offline or communication would just be a bit strange. But anyway, when you're dating a younger guy than you, and when you know you had to divorce, you know, sometimes you're at that age where you care less as long as life is going on, isn't it? So that is the kind of a lifestyle that this auntie had, and sometimes she would be concerned, sometimes she would think like, what do I have to care? When he's around, he's around. When he's not around, then that's okay. So one time this guy disappears and goes and shows up after some time. But you see, constantly, every time should be this lady, this auntie would be with some of her family members who tell her there's something not right about this guy. There's just something not right. And the woman would just defend the guy and like, no, it's fine, we're okay. And they're insisting, Mom, no, you auntie, like you know better, right? You know better. You should find yourself, if you really want to be in a relationship, then find a relationship that is of your status, that is good, you know, because we can't stop you from having a relationship, but at least get somebody who matches who you are, because this guy is way below your standard and we expect you to date. but she wouldn't hear anything of it. So this lady, this guy goes for this impromptu safari, then later comes back. Then assume the impromptu safari was on a weekend, then this guy comes back. So on a Tuesday, this lady is at home. Then one of the family members calls her and says, hey, so-and-so, watch TV now, go and watch TV now. And she quickly turns on the TV and goes on the TV, and the news is that so-and-so has been shot dead. And that so-and-so is apparently her boyfriend. He's been shot dead on the streets. And this lady is like, what? So this lady immediately drives off and goes to the scene of where the guy has been shot. You know, definitely when somebody is shot dead in Africa, and yes, so they don't take the body from the scene immediately. And you know, in Africa we love to crowd and surround and stuff. So yeah, so that was the situation. So she was able to get to the scene before like the body was taken from there. So when she got there, she's like, hey, making her way in the crowd, hey, let me go, I'm the wife, you know. So she goes and she's alone, and everybody's shocked, like, hey, you're the wife. Because initially, before she came, the police had said, this is a gangster. And so when she's coming, she doesn't know that is the information that the people have been given. So she's like, hey, excuse me, this is my husband. And definitely everybody looks at her with that strange face of, hey, you're the wife to a gangster. And definitely when they look at her and look at the guy on the floor, things don't add up. And then, yeah, the police says, yes, this is a gangster. We've been following him for a long time now. So today we found him. So they shot him dead. And the woman starts saying, no, this cannot be. This is not a gangster. This is a very good man. La, 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 la. Everything trying to defend, crying hysterically and stuff like that. So, yeah. So what happens? The police do their job. They get the body off the scene and everything else goes. Mission accomplished. So, fast forward after that event. So, when the body is finally released to the family need to bury the body. So, this lady, this auntie to my friend, for the entire time they were dating, and I've told you it's been 4 years, they were dating, she only knew the village place where this guy comes from is so-and-so place. But she never ever got to go and be introduced into that home, because definitely why that couldn't happen is because she was married before. So she knew this is where this guy comes from, but it's like she's never interacted with the guy's family. So on this day, definitely the funeral is arranged without her having a lot of say, because you're like an outcast, like kind of. So the real family of the guy plans the funeral and everything. So what this lady does, auntie to my friend does, is to attend the funeral. Definitely. And at some point she hopes like she might be recognized, like, yeah, this was, yeah, the girlfriend or somebody. So when she goes to the funeral, shock of her life is this guy had a family. Because definitely as they are burying, they say this is the family, this is the children. And that is when it hits her and hits them. This is why this guy would have this impromptu trips to somewhere and disappear. So definitely when he would go to the main wife, then that's when he would disappear. So definitely, but anyway, for her, because you are just in a relationship and you have big children. It's not really a big thing, and though it hurts you in a way, but so she just ignored it and left it. And definitely you think like, yeah, it's over, he's died, unfortunately this is it. She goes back to the city now to live her life without their boyfriend. So goes, and then after some weeks, I've told you this lady was well-to-do, so after some weeks she goes to the ATM. She wants to withdraw money, then goes to one of the ATM machines, tries to withdraw money. She can't get money. Goes to another ATM machine, tries, it's not giving her money. Then she thinks like, oh, what's happening? Is my ATM card having a problem or what? So she decides, okay, the bank is nearby, let me go and check in the bank and find out what's the problem. So because this lady was well-to-do, as I've told you, she was like a VIP account holder, you know. So many of the, like from the security to the people working in the bank to the managers, they knew her, because anytime she would come to do transactions in the bank, they would give her that VIP treatment. So when she is walking into the bank, the first thing, the security guy who knows her, like, behaves weird. He's shocked to see her. And then she's wondering, why? Anyway, it's been long since I walked into the bank, maybe. Then she goes to the teller. And when she gets to the teller, even the teller is like shocked to see her. And she thinks like, hey, what's up? Then definitely they're having this conversation with the teller, and she can tell the teller is very uneasy. And then she just asked the teller, when I came, the security guard greeted me, but he seemed shocked and he acted weird. What's the matter? And now when I come to you, look at you also, you're acting strange. So is anything the matter? So this teller says, no, nothing is the matter. What, so your card is not working here. So the manager told us, in case you ever show up in the bank, we should tell you to go and see him. And then she's like, really? Okay. Then she goes to see the manager, because apparently she also knows the manager. So when she goes to see the manager, she enters the manager's office. The manager is also acting weird. He's shocked to see her. And then the manager tells her, sit down. And then she tells the manager, what's happening today? Everybody I'm meeting in this bank who knows me, they are all acting strange. And even you're acting strange. So what is the issue? So the manager tells her, just sit down and calm down. So ask her, is everything okay? She says, yeah, everything has been fine, just like my ATM. I went to the ATM, I couldn't get money. I went to another and I couldn't, so I decided to come to the bank and find out what's the matter. So the bank manager pulls a letter, like a document, from under a shelf somewhere, and presents on the table and tells her, this is why everybody is apparently shocked. And the document in front of her is her death certificate. You know? So everybody is acting shocked because the bank had already communicated to most of the people who knew her, like, you know, oh, you guys, do you know so? Yeah, unfortunately, they passed away. So when everybody in the bank knows you passed away and then you suddenly appear, who will not be shocked? So this is the reason why everybody was being shocked, because apparently this VIP bank account holder, they know she died, and that had been like 2-3 weeks ago when they got the information. And if you know how banks work, if they are presented with a death certificate of any account holder, they freeze the account and then they do the investigations to confirm that this person has actually died. Then once they make those confirmations, then what they do is whatever money that was in that account is transferred to the next of kin. So the bank was still waiting for more information to confirm the death, then start the legal process of transferring money to the next of kin. Now, I've been telling you of torturous relationships. Your boyfriend has been shot and killed in broad daylight on the streets. You go to the funeral, you find you had a family that you didn't know of, somebody you've dated for years. Then, after a funeral and several weeks later, you go to the bank and apparently everybody shocked to see you. And voila, a death certificate with your names and everything is there, yet you are alive. Torturous relationships. This is Against All Odds. I am your girl Jennifer. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. We'll be talking more about relationships on the next video. Bye.